A few years, when I was born into the most awesome family on the earth. We had 22 cousins within 2 years of my age. When we'd go to Lava, Mom and Dad would drop me off on the hill at the England place, and I would play in the cars and trucks all the way down and eventually make it to the house. And then we'd play around the manure pit. Tanya was one of my first closest friends because one time she went through all the cars at Roger Johnson's house and pulled out all the keys and brought them to me, and I've always been grateful for that, from Tanya. So when I was born, we had Grandma and Grandpa and everybody involved. And then as I grew older, my mom told me about that it was Susie's second marriage and it was Ivan's second marriage. And a few years ago, studying our family history, it dawned on me that one day Susie got a phone call that her husband was not coming home. And she was devastated and broken. And I don't know that she could process that life could ever go on. And then I had the similar experience that the same thing happened to Ivan. His wife died and he was left with 3 little children. And what could he do but try to go on? When I was talking to Irma told me that when Aunt Elizabeth came to try to take care of the children after Della had died, that Aunt Elizabeth was very strict, and so were a lot of adults in those days, and that Aunt Elizabeth told Irma to sweep the basement, so she swept in a pile. She did not want to put it in a dustpan and haul it outside, so she pulled the carpet back and swept it under the rug and put the carpet back and told Aunt Elizabeth it was all done. And Aunt Elizabeth went down and found the lump and pulled it back and was not happy. So she scolded Irma and said, "Wait till your father comes in." And so Irma was terrified, and she waited there with her heart beating. And when Ivan came in, she heard Aunt Elizabeth, letting Ivan have it. "You better do something with that Irma." So Ivan said, "Irma, you better come out the back." And Ivan took Irma out the backyard, and he knelt down and looked her in the eyes, and he said, "It's pretty tough, isn't it?" And just like how he hugged Ken, he just hugged her. And he told her that she'd been punished enough. At a different time, they bought Uncle Joseph's old car, and Uncle Joseph had a new car. And she told me that she came in the house in the back, put her books down, and started to complain and said, "Why do we always have to have a hand-me-down car? Why can't we have something new?" And Ivan said, "Oh, Irma, it'll be all right. Just come on in here." And took her into the living room, and there they had a piano that they had just got. Do you know where they got the piano?
It was Aunt Elizabeth's piano. It was Aunt Elizabeth's piano, and Irma had gotten it.
Okay, so when Irma saw the piano, she just started to bawl, and she said, "I felt so selfish." And then Ken said, "Look, she doesn't even like it. She's bawling." Irma told me that when the 2 families were put together, it was really hard in the beginning. And one day Susie's was gone, and it was Irma's job to get Margie ready for church or school or something. And Margie did not want to do it. And Margie was fighting her and pushing her off. And Irma said it was about all I could do to get her dressed, and I wanted to give up. But Ivan kept telling me, that's your job, Irma. You've got to get her dressed. And she made her do that. She said, but Susie worked really hard to try to make things work. She said, for example, we would have a cake on Sunday, and Susie would cut the cake, and she would give me and John and Edith a little bit bigger piece than she gave her kids. And one of her kids, and I don't know which one, complained and let her know, Mom, that's not fair. You're giving them a bigger piece. And Susie said, I know, but they don't have their mother. And you still have yours. And Irma said, Susie was every bit as mom to me as I was. When I interviewed Winnie said, when Cordelia died, it just devastated the family and devastated Reddy. And, that was their sister. And they suffered. And when Ivan started to date Susie, he quite liked her. And Susie was a little apprehensive, but Ivan was struggling to know, should he get married again? As Ken said, he wouldn't be sealed to her. And when when Ivan asked Uncle Joseph's side of the family, they were approving of Susie. And Winnie told me that Reddy said, I don't know how you could ever find a wife better than Cordelia. I just don't know how you could. But Ivan did. Ivan found a wife as good as their own sister. And Winnie told me nobody could figure out how Ivan could get two perfect wives. So I've come to the conclusion that by the time I was born and came onto the scene, the sacrifice, the heartache, the heartbreak, the price they paid was a long time in the rearview mirror. And I think that the God of heaven and our pioneer ancestors have looked down on our family because of sacrifices that were made before us. So I probably better not say any more, but I wanted to say that.